Yeah, look, we, as a football club, once Travis, and I think we should respect Travis first for a moment and reflect on what his time as captain of our football club was, which was outstanding, and and in some good times and some challenging times. Once we had the information from Trav that was going to be his last season, we took some time then to make sure we were really comfortable. We had great leaders at our football club, but we wanted to make sure we gave them plenty of opportunities. And right from the start, I mentioned that we would make a decision close to JLT, our timeline. We've stuck to that timeline really closely. We've given players the opportunity to show what they've got to offer. We've given the whole club a great opportunity to really think clearly through this decision, because one thing that we need to be clear of, we totally respect the history of our football club. So we didn't take this decision lightly. It's really, really brave decision to get here today, but really a really clear decision that we have two of the great people of our football club to now take on the captaincy and do an amazing job of it, I'm sure.
Can you walk us through why the two-captain model works when for a long time in sport it is one leader so well?
Yeah, and that's exactly right, Rich. And for us, we work through the model really closely, what the boys both bring, what they can offer to us. In a couple of senses, we work what they offer on the field. Certainly that is really important and really clear to understand that by having the two boys out there, that does give them an opportunity to get across the side better. And we've spent an entire summer on our connection. We've got our whole club together, and we've gone, and you can see behind you, our whole club's here, that this is a unanimous decision that we think off the field, the connection between us and the whole of the football club, by having the two boys and Hamish also to support them in that role, is really simple and clear, that gives them a better opportunity to connect this whole football club together, and both boys together, I'm sure, will do an outstanding job of that.
Can you tell us why two works better than one?
Yeah, clearly, I think that gives them an opportunity to spread themselves across the game, the team, the club, and all the challenges that go. One of the things that we did in this process is that I had a great opportunity to spend some time with two players on our list that have been AFL captains, Travis Boak and Tom Rockcliffe, and spent time talking through the challenges of being a captain on your own. And some of the things that they gave me, 100% clear, was that this is a really big role. They would have loved to have had someone to share that responsibility with, and they think, without doubt, that giving the boys a chance to support each other, it will make them be better captains. What are we about here? We're about making sure that this football club goes forward and wins. And we think if that gives us a better chance, and we're really convinced that that does give us a much better chance of winning by having two people share this role. Yeah, absolutely. They're different players for a start. We've got one bloke that's an elite defender in the competition. Probably, barring injury and suspension, possibly could have been a two-time best and fairest winner at full-back, basically. It's an incredible story, Tommy's story, as a rookie player coming through. What he's been able to do and the way he's been able to do it is just a great credit to him. Ollie, we've all been really clear with Ollie from the time he's got here at this football club that he's embraced our football club as a high pick, as a young player, come in and played every game and been able to get through most of every football match he can possibly play. And in play, what I love about both, and all three of the boys who have been put in the positions of leadership, is that they all play a traditional Port Adelaide game of football. They are tough, they are hard, and they play to win with everything they've got. That makes sense to me that these are great captains, not just a captain.
I'm not sure if it means much, or the boys will keep the current jersey that you've been going with the number one in the past. You'll abandon that, or one of them wear the number one?
No, we'll put number one away until we get to that position again at some stage in our future that we have a singular captain, if that's what happens. I think both boys now will wear their normal numbers, 42 and 16. It won't change the way they go about it, won't change the view of us, or I think it won't change the view of our supporters, more importantly, of how they think and look at their two players that are out there. They'll be very happy to see them out there, I think.
Ollie, congratulations. Can you just talk us through your thinking and what it means to you?
Yeah, incredibly proud. I came to this football club from interstate 6 years ago. I virtually knew nothing about it, and 6 years gone, and to be in this position, I'm incredibly proud to stand next to Tommy, Ken and Hearts. I'm over the moon and looking forward to going forward.
Tom, you a couple of weeks ago did believe in the co-captaincy model. Now that it exists, why is it going to work?
Like Kenny touched on, I think we're lucky that we've got strengths that complement each other, and I think in this day and age two can be better than one. So I'm really eager to work beside Ollie and share this moment, but also many positive moments going forward.
Yeah, certainly part of the selection process was the players certainly had input into their leadership model. That will always happen at most football clubs, I would imagine, and ours is no different. And what I will say is it was absolutely crystal clear by the players who they thought were the right people to be representing them. And I think, really importantly for us as a football club, these boys are going to make a safe environment for every one of our players to feel like they have a voice and that they can act like a leader in this team. Their responsibility is to make sure they feel that and they're comfortable in that. But the playing vote was very, very, very clear that the three boys who end up in the roles are head and shoulders in front.
When did this come onto the radar?
When did what?
The idea of dual captains come onto the radar for you?
As we worked our way through the process, it became the evidence was becoming overwhelmingly supportive of having dual captains. Of what? One, players; two, the club, coaches. Everyone that was involved in the selection and the decision making was getting clearer by the day that they complement each other. This role has got bigger than it's ever been. The information we kept getting was this can be a working party that's incredibly successful, and I'll say it one more time, it gives us the absolute best chance to win. And there's the one thing I know that Port Adelaide people and us as a football club stand for, it's winning, and we think this gives us the absolute best chance to win. We will never jeopardise anything other than winning at this football club. It's the most important part.
So if Jonas steps down and then someone comes to you with the idea of having dual captains, what was your first reaction given the club's history?
Oh, look, well, clearly that's the first thing you think about. You think about all those things that are involved in a football club as great as Port Adelaide, 149 years old. You don't dismiss that. It's a really, really brave decision to come up here today and say we think this is the right model. And on the way through that selection process, again, whilst we didn't rush the decision making, it was really, really good for us because it allowed us to get to a really, really strong position today that we actually now have what we consider a much stronger model than we've had in the past. So we look forward to that.
Can you say it's what's best for the team? Clubs are made up of members and fans who haven't been very receptive early on. How are you going to convince them that it is the right way to go?
Well, I think we'll convince them purely through results. But what I also know about Port Adelaide Rooch is that our fans and our members are really passionate, and they voice their opinions. We hear them. We don't not hear that. So if you think I sit here today not realising how brave we had to be as a football club to make this decision, and I am asking our fans and our members to be equally as brave and support these two boys, and they will do them incredibly proud right through the next part of this football club's history.
Ollie, looking fit, it's like you've got what I can see. How do you train?
Yeah, I've only really got the sling off for this, to be honest. But no, it's coming along. In the sling for probably another week or two. But all things are on track, and realistically, probably looking around the first month of the season. So we'll keep progressing in the gym, and then eventually to running, and won't be long.
And when you're in for your first game, hopefully sooner rather than later, who's the coin when you have to choose?
Oh, I dare say it'll be revolving a bit. Whoever's talking, it'll be the same message. So we're very connected as it is, Jonah and I, and that'll continue.
And have you had much time to do work out how to do this as a dual captain's role?
Oh, probably not as of yet. We only really found out yesterday that we were going to be doing this. So, look, the club's been open to getting people in to help us. Obviously, Michael Voss is on the list. He was co-captain when he first took over at Brisbane. So we've got an incredible amount of resources around us to tap into, and I'm sure over the coming weeks, coming months, and throughout the season, we'll look into those.
Tom, what's you're a fair sort of straight shooter. What's your sort of tactics model?
Yeah, that's definitely one of my strengths. So I think Ollie will compliment me in that respect. He's probably got empathy is one of his strengths, and that's something I'm working on. But I've always prided myself on being honest, a hard worker, and being able to drive the standards. So I think we're two blokes that can help do that, but at the same time, it might be an area where he can help me out. And also being of the younger generation slightly, I think with such a young group, Ollie will be able to tap into that and really bring me along for the ride, and we'll have all bases covered.
He maybe gives the love and you
Hopefully we mix it up a little bit, but yeah, at times there'll probably be a bit of good cop, bad cop, I suspect.
Yeah, I think, Steve, it's the whole thing. It's a big role on the field. There's a great expectation on any captain in the AFL to lead the right way. I think that's really important to understand that on field they both still need to play their best. You know, that's really important to us, that they play their absolute best football, and what they've been able to deliver is first class. Off field, it's a significant role, there's no doubt, and when you represent the community of Port Adelaide, it's a big job, and we don't for one moment underestimate how much is involved with that. And I think today's game in the football sense is that we look at the people who are here today, the media that's around, the responsibility that's around the leaders of your football club. They're incredibly important positions, and to share that workload, I think, is really smart. Look, it'd be nice to touch on Hammer a little bit more. Obviously, the spotlight's on the two boys, and it should be. But Hammer's story is incredible with what he's been able to do over the last 2 or 3 years, not just in the last little bit. He's obviously dealt with an ACL injury, which he's on track to be ready to play for the start of the season, and should play some JLT time. But his want to be a strong Port Adelaide leader is unquestionable. There wasn't that far back in time that he was asking, was this going to be the right club? And for him to make the decisions that he made 2 or 3 years back, to put himself in a position of leadership and a player that we sorely missed last season, I think it goes a long way to say his teammates haven't played with him for basically a year, but they say today that he's still a most important member of leadership in our football club. Great credit to Hammer. No, Rich, I'm not worried about heat. I don't not care about what our people think. I want our people to be all part of this together, and let's gang up on the rest, because there's enough in the world that are wanting to belt us up in the other 17 clubs. Let's just hang together and make sure that we belt up on the rest of them. I'm not, and Port Adelaide people don't get frightened of heat. Come on, give us a spell. We're big and strong enough to take on the heat. Good work.
Thanks, Jonas. Thanks.
Good work, Kenny.
That's good.